Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about analysis of determinate structures with the code 18CV42 and model 1. These are the syllabus which includes the first model, structural forms, condition of equilibrium, Hopf equation, degree of freedom, linear and non-linear analysis, static and kinetic indeterminacy of experiments. Then a second part we have concept and influence line diagram, ILD line diagram for reaction, then shear force, bending moment for determined beams, influence line diagram for axial force, determined stress and numerical problems and above. Okay, we'll go one by one. First is structure. One should know what is structure. A structure refers to a system of connected parts used to support the loads. When an elastic body is subjected to a system of loads and the deformation takes place and the resistance is set up against the deformation, then the elastic body is known as structure. If no resistance is set up against the deformation, it is known as unstable structure or mechanism. This is all about a structure. Now let us know structural forms. What are the structural forms we have? We'll discuss one by one. Structural forms includes first is skeleton structure. Skeleton structure is a structure which can be idealized to a series of straight and curved lines. For example, roof truss, beams, column, cables, etc. Then we have surface structure. A surface structure which can be idealized to be a plane or curved surface. For example, slab can consider wall, a thin plate, and shells. Thin plates and shells are nothing but it's a dome-like structure. You might have seen bombers. Okay, the topmost curved portion is called shells. The next is solid structure. A solid structure is one which can either neither be idealized to a skeleton nor to a plane or a curved surface. For example, massive foundation, where the depth and width and height of that foundation will be too large, then we can consider that as solid structure. Another example is concrete dam. Now, concrete dam, in which again the amount of concrete to be used to make the abutment or a bund, we can say, that is in large quantity, so we can call that as a solid structure. Now, next type of structure is one-dimensional member. If the element are arranged along one axis, either it may be x-axis or maybe y-axis or maybe z-axis, is called as one-dimensional member. Say length is larger than when compared to the other two dimensions of the component of the structure. Now I have given an example here. I have shown a beam. In this beam, this length is large compared to B and this depth. So now B and D are negligible when compared to length. So it is a one-dimensional number. Next come two-dimensional number. If the elements are arranged along two axes, that is x and y axis, or y and z axis, or y and x and z axis, is called as two-dimensional. For example, any plane can be considered as a two-dimensional member. There is a segment which is having two dimension or predominant compared to the third dimension, that will be called as a two-dimensional member. Now here the length and breadth. For example, look at here. This length and this width are large compared to this thickness. Compared to this thickness. That is the reason I can call this example, this solid slab as a two-dimensional member. Now coming to three-dimensional. The three-dimensional member is an element which is arranged along all the three-dimensional axes x, y, and z. For example, building or a cube, we can say. In a cube, all the three dimensions are same. In this three-dimensional member, also we have this height, width, and this breadth. Breadth, width, and height are predominant. So all can be measurable. So that we can call as a three-dimensional member. Next, we have equation of equilibrium. When we talk about two-dimension, when we talk about two-dimension, so they have three equilibrium conditions, which are summation of x is equal to 0, summation of v is equal to 0, and summation of moment is equal to 0. But the moment which we talk about is about x-axis. So summation of x is equal to 0, summation of y is equal to 0, and summation of moment about z-axis is 0. You know, these are three equilibrium conditions during when we consider the element or a structure which is two-dimensional. Now, when you talk about three-dimensional structures, there we have six equilibrium equations, which are sum of forces acting on x is equal to 0, sum of forces acting y along is equal to 0, sum of forces acting along z are equal to 0, and sum of moment about x axis is 0, sum of moment of y axis is 0, and sum of moment of z axis. So here, in a three-dimension structure, we have totally six equations of equilibrium. If the structure cannot be able to analyze using equation of equilibrium, then it is called as indeterminate structures. One should know because we are dealing with static indeterminacy and kinetic indeterminacy. In that, you should know what is indeterminacy. Now, indeterminacy is it is nothing is also called as indeterminate. A structure can be said to be determinate if the number of unknowns can be calculated alone by making use of the equation of equilibrium, then we call it as a determinate structure. If the structure cannot be analyzed by using equation of equilibrium, then it is called as indeterminate structure or a redundant structure, or we can also say as that hybrid structure. Then we have compatibility condition. Now, compatibility condition represents the restriction on deformations at specific location in the system, such as joints where two or more members meet. Following condition should satisfied at any joints. You have to satisfy this condition, where we can get an additional equation that we call as compatibility condition. The members meet at a joint will continue to meet at the same joint even after deformation takes place. These are the certain assumptions made during the compatible conditions. At a rigid joint, the angle between two members remain the same even after deformation takes place. Then we have static determinant. One should know what is static determinant. The static determinant is nothing but the structure is analyzed by the equation of equilibrium alone, where the unknowns will be less than or equal to 15 numbers. Determinant and static determinant was another thing. Now here, linear analysis. So I have just noted down the theory part in this class. In the next class, I will continue with the numericals on static indeterminacy and kinetic indeterminacy. Today we are going to see the formulas, how it's going to be used, along with the definitions, of course. A linear analysis is an analysis where a linear relation holds between applied force and displacement. In practice, this is applicable to the structural problems where stresses remain in the linear elastic range of the used material. And then we have a nonlinear analysis. A nonlinear analysis is analysis where a nonlinear relation holds between the applied force and the distance. Non-linear effects can originate from the geometrical non-linearity. Well, those are large deformations, material non-linearity, then elastoplastic materials and contact. So here, the main important thing you should know the definition and how this linear analysis and non-linear analysis are different from each other. Then we have degree of freedom. What exactly the degree of freedom stands for? It is a number of independent displacement that must be specified in order to describe the motion or position of a structure. For example, I have a beam. Let's say here I have a roller. Can anyone tell me what are the possible displacement occur in this roller support? Of course, three. One is along x, one is along y, another is a moment. So as I told, if it is a two-dimensional structure, there are three unknowns. That is, forces it may displace along x, displace along y, and third one is a moment. So these are the possible displacement going to occur at a joints. The degree of freedom are a set of independent displacement or rotation that completely define the displaced position of the supports or a point with respect to the initial point. Now, for example, again I will take same example. I have a beam. Let's say here I have support, here I have a support. One general loading I will take. When I apply a load, this beam going to bend. Now the beam has bent. Now during the service life of this beam, due to this load, this will keep bending, and due to what if there is no stability against the settlement, this let's say this column has settled. Now the original position is here. With respect to this initial point, this much is the displacement occurred. Now, can anyone tell me more, whether the whatever the independent displacement were there at this point will remain same at this point? Maybe, may not be. Due to this displacement, whatever the bending was there, it may be decreased due to this uneven position of the supports. Earlier there was three, maybe now it may be two, or of course it may be. It depends. Okay. Now static indeterminacy. So static determinate structures. If the condition of static equilibrium are sufficient to analyze the structure, which is called a static determinate structure. Bending moment, shear force of the independent of material property in cross section. Stresses are not induced due to temperature change and support settlement. We won't consider the temperature stresses while calculating the static indeterminacy. Static indeterminacy, in which we have again two. One is static external indeterminacy and static internal indeterminacy. DSC is static external determinacy, DSI is static internal determinacy. Now, external indeterminacy. If the number of reactions are more than the equilibrium equation, is known as external in static external indeterminacy structure. Now look at here. Here I have a beam. This is a beam. Here we have fixed support, and here we have roller support. The for a fixed support, the number of unknowns are three. One is vertical, horizontal, third one is the moment. Similarly, for a here roller support, we have only one reaction. Roller support exert only one reaction. Now, how many number of reactions we have? Here three, and this side is one. Totally four reactions. So total number of reaction in this given beam is four. The equilibrium equations are for two-dimensional structure. We have equilibrium equations are three. For three-dimensional structure, six is the number of total number of equilibrium. Now, whether the equation this beam is internal indeterminate, external indeterminate, of course it is externally because the number of unknowns are more than three. So it is external indeterminate. Don't worry, when you solve a problem, come to know. Just I'm giving a hint. Now, static indeterminacy for a rigid joint plane frame. Again, the formula is external indeterminacy is equal to R minus E, where E is the number of equilibrium equations, R is the number of external unknown reactions available. Now, static internal indeterminacy DSI is equal to 3C minus R dash, where C are number of closed loop. What is closed loop? I'll let you know. Don't worry about it. R dash is the total number of internal released forces or number of forces connected with the internal hinges. Okay, when you solve a problem, I will let you know. Just see the formulas now. Just I have listed the formulas. And some of the examples for which we are supposed to calculate R dash. Just now I told what is the R dash. R dash is total number of internal forces released or interstress released due to this kind of a internal support is given here. Here we have internal joint. Here internal hinge is this is shear. Okay. Now look at here. 1, 2, 3 members are connected. So the formula earlier the formula was m dash minus 1. In the m dash minus 1. This will use here. M dash minus m money number of members connected. 1, 2, 3. Total 3. So 3 minus 1, which is 2. Okay. So R dash value is 2. Now similarly here. Here we have internal hinge. The number of members connected are 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Similarly here. Here we have a shear support. This is called a shear support. Okay, this is something like this. In between there will be some rollers. Here the members are connected. So if you come across this kind of structure, then R dash is 1. Now, if you come across this kind of a structure, this side is something like this, then R dash is 2. Roller support is provided at the end of this beam and start of this beam. Okay. So just keep in your mind, whenever you come across a problem, we make use of this. Static indeterminacy for rigid jointed space frame. External indeterminacy remains same, R minus E, no change. Now it is here, look at here, it is 2D frame, plane frame and 2D frame. Here space frame and 3D frame, where 6 Siemens R dash, there is the only change. 6 Siemens R dash. When you solve a problem, we will deal with one by one, no issue. Just list the formulas and glance over the formulas, you will come to know, and it will be easy for understanding when you solve a problem. Unstable and I had listed static indeterminacy. When DS is zero, it is unstable and static determinate structure. Deficiency of the frame or structure, you can call it. When DS is greater than zero, then it is unstable. If it is zero, then again a stable, static determinate structure, and perfect frame or a structure. For if the structure is statically determinate, then the value external static indeterminacy will be zero. If the D value is greater than zero, then it is stable and statically indeterminate structure or redundant frame or a structure. Now, kinetic indeterminacy. So, basically, in the examination, 100% there will be a 68 marks question will be asked to calculate the static indeterminacy and kinetic indeterminacy. Now, kinetic indeterminacy is nothing but degree of freedom. If the displacement component at a joint cannot be determined by compatibility equation, which is called as kinetic indeterminate structures. Degree of kinetic indeterminacy, that is denoted by dk. It is defined as total number of unrestrained displacement, that is translation and rotation component of the joint. Translation means displacement. Rotation, of course, it is due to slope or a moment. The end. So here I will stop, but in the next class we'll solve a problem. There I will clear you what exactly is kinetic indeterminacy and static